Hello, I'm Sophia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to do this combo. It's a very lovely, very pretty, graceful and flowy combo. It also has one of my favorite transitions in it, which is a Stargazer Sit into a ballerina. So we're going to do that transition as well. Make sure that you do both sides, because in this video, as always, we're just going to do one side. And please make sure that you are warm. And I'm not going to play music in this video, so when we get to the end and we're dancing it, please put on some beautiful music wherever you are and, really dance this and enjoy it. Let's get straight into it. Our first two spins are very similar. They're very similar shapes. We're really just going to use the spin of the pole to help us get from one side to the other. And whilst that spin is helping us, all we really need to do is use our strength in our shoulders and our back and also our core. Let's get started. This outside hand is going to start at the top, and we just want to baseball grip one hand on top of the other with both thumbs up. We want our body and our hips in front of the pole, and the same arm is up. That is the leg that is bent. Okay, for our first one. So even if you just want to get into that shape, it also really helps if the leg that is straight isn't just out to the side, but it actually pulls back behind you, because once again, you're using the spin there to help you create the shape. So without spin, I'll just show you what I mean. So we're here. Yeah, and in order to pull that leg back behind you, really squeeze your glutes. Now from this position here, the leg that is bent, so the same leg as the arm that is up, is going to extend, and then we do a little twizzle in the air, and then we go to this side. And so the legs are doing the same thing. The leg is out and pulling back behind you slightly, so you're squeezing your bum, and then this one is bent. We've got two things that we really need to focus on. Firstly, it's the spin that's really helping us. So the more you can lean into that spin and use it, the more it will help you. And secondly, it really is about your muscle engagement so that you don't drop down. So as a pole dancer, especially in a grip like this, we really have to fight that urge to want to hang. We have to pull our shoulders down the whole time and keep your abs engaged. And then the spin will kind of do the rest for you. Let's take a climb and just give that first part a try. So we want to bring our outside hand to the top, sweep around here, and remember that the same leg is bent as the arm that is on the top. Now extend, twizzle, and here. So there are our first two spins. If you don't use your abs on that little pencil twizzle around, you will probably hit the pole. But if you keep engaged through your shoulders, keep engaged through your core, you won't hit the pole, you'll clear it, and you'll be able to kind of twizzle into it. Let's move on from this position. And again, to really kind of go with the spin, it helps to lean your body back into the spin. It's a little bit less load on your arms to do that because the spin is taking some of the work for you, and it also feels nice and looks nice as well. So we've got this one here, twizzle around to this one. So when I say lean back into the spin, I mean lean this way around the pole. The leg that is straight is then going to draw a circle in the air. The reason why we do this is because it keeps it flowy and it also keeps your spin on the pole, okay? So this leg's going to come around and it's going to go into your Stargazer Sit position, which is, of course, in the crook of your knee there, trying to lift your knee. So if I show you this way, knee and hip here, and then your bottom leg is going to go into your Stargazer Sit position there. Let's try all of it. We'll do the first spin, twizzle, into the next spin, draw the circle in the air, and try to come into our Stargazer Sit. So we'll take our climb, outside hand goes to the top, sweep the body in front of the pole, pull down through the shoulders. Now use your abs, extend, twizzle, lean back into the spin. Draw a circle in the air, get that foot on, and into your Stargazer Sit position. Now, what is important in the setup of this Stargazer is the fact that we're then going to go into our ballerina. So we have to really preempt that move, which is a foundation of graceful movement, is moving with intention. Because when you move with intention, then that's what creates clean combos, and you don't have to kind of fumble around with your grips the whole time. So because we know that our Stargazer Sit is then going to go into our ballerina, we have to set it up to preempt that. So what I mean by that is, to go from your Stargazer into your ballerina, you really want your hips in line with your knee, or even a little bit higher, but definitely not lower. Because if you try to thread through in a Stargazer with your hips down here, this is what it's going to end up like for your ballerina. So you really need to keep that in mind when we're setting up that, when we set up that Stargazer Sit. After we circle the air with our toe, bring your knee a little bit lower than you normally would for your Stargazer Sit. And that's going to keep your hips and your torso nice and tall and upright, but more importantly, it's going to keep your weight distribution where we need it in order to get into our ballerina. Because when we go into our ballerina, whichever leg is hooked, the opposite hand is the one that we want to bring up into a twisty grip and into our ballerina. And I can't stress enough that if you're sitting down here with your hips down here, getting through like this in a ballerina is, well, for me, it's virtually impossible, okay? So we want to sit up tall in our Stargazer Sit. Once we're there, remember, opposite hand is the one that's going to come up. But really the secret to getting this transition from your Stargazer Sit to your ballerina is that you thread this hand first. This one goes first, and you get a little bit of twist, then the outside hand comes up. As you thread through, I'm going to show you this way. It's a little cheap, okay? As you thread through, use the back of your arm to then push you through, and this leg will then go into your ballerina hook, and it needs to slide down, okay? Because otherwise you'll be kind of by that stage up here. Let's try just the Stargazer Sit into our ballerina, that transition there. Because it's a little tricky, you just have to practice it a few times to know where to put your body to make that transition work. So let's just leave the spin out for now, and we don't have to climb very high either. We can just go into our Stargazer. Now we want to sit up tall in this Stargazer. The same hand as the leg that is hooked comes through first. Opposite hand goes to twisty, reach up, and then we go through. So this hand that we threaded through first, use it to push into the pole. You want to push it into the pole wherever it ends up. If it's not on the back of your arm, it doesn't matter, because it will be once you get all the way through. What I'm basically saying is that you don't have to get through in this transition without using this arm to help you. Okay, so wherever it lands, use it to push. So when you bring that arm through, the main thing that we need at that point is to get the shoulder through, okay? Because of our, beautiful pole shoulders, we need to create space for them, because you're not going to get through if you just bring your arm. You have to bring your shoulder first. Then this hand goes to twisty grip. Just a quick reminder with your twisty, palm out, back of the hand onto the pole, because you won't be quite there yet. This leg is still holding us onto the pole. Then you get through with this shoulder. Then you use the pole in whatever capacity you can to push. And now here is the second most important thing. You got to twist out. The rest of the move is not really a thread forward, it's a twist out, and then you'll get it. So it's a thread, get through with your shoulder. Now it's a twist. And what happens as you start to twist? This hand, because you're leaning across the pole, this hand will be able to get into your twisty, and then we can bring that leg down, and you'll end up in your ballerina. That is a lot of information, I'm sorry. It's hard to kind of pick which order to kind of go through with that one. Let's try that again. We'll leave the spin out. We'll just do the Stargazer to ballerina, because that's definitely the trickiest part of this combo. So just keep it low for now, and we'll bring this leg over. Now remember, we want to sit up tall, so the hips are in line or just a little bit above. Inside hand goes through with the shoulder. Outside hand goes to twisty. Now twist out, use this arm to push against, twist out away from the pole and slide. And what you'll find as this leg kind of moves from this grip to that grip, the best way to get that action to happen, that change of grip there, is to lean across the pole. Because what will happen is your hip will naturally release as you lean. So it's kind of all happening at the same time. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, sit up tall. This one comes forward. This one goes up. Use the push and twist out. And now lean, and then this leg will release down, and you will end up in your ballerina. Okay, let's try it from the start. We'll just take one climb, and we'll bring our outside hand to the top, bring your legs around, pull the leg behind you, keep the strength in your shoulders. Extend, twizzle, lean back into the spin. Draw a circle in the air. Use this inside leg to push you back. Keep it low, keep the hips up. Stargazer, opposite shoulder is going to come forward. Outside hand goes here, start to twist, slide down into the move. And that's why we needed a little bit of space with that climb, because your legs, the ballerina will kind of bring you down the pole a little bit. And that's what we want, okay? You don't have to thread through and kind of stay on the pole in that one spot. It's going to work so much better if you just allow yourself to slide down a little bit. And then it'll be much more graceful and a lot smoother and a lot more fluid. Now let's just quickly talk about how we finish this combo. It's just a small combo, but it's really beautiful, and you can put it into, a larger combo that you're doing as well. So from here, from our ballerina position here, we're just going to bring our hand here into the little gap, extend that leg that is on the pole, and then we're going to twist out this way to come down. So the leg, I'm going to have to think about this. The arm that's up, that's the same leg. That's going to bring us down to the floor. The reason why I'm not kind of going too hard on the ending here is because some of us might be at the top of the pole when we're doing this, and some of us might be here. It's just a really nice flowy way to get out of it. So if we were to just do the ballerina ending here, so let's just say we're in our ballerina, hand comes to the gap, extend, and then we're going to turn into the leg, the same arm that is up. And that'll just unwind the legs for us and allow us to either float down or continue on if there's any more moves that you would like to add to this combo. Let's do it again, and we're really just going to focus on all of those grip changes and those strength, like the muscle engagements that we need in order to hold the poses. And then we'll do it again and we'll talk about how to make it beautiful. Now I'm just going to take one climb, because if I take two climbs, I'm worried I'm going to go off the screen. But I definitely encourage you to take two climbs if you can and if you want to, because it looks really beautiful when it's high up on the pole. Let's go. And we'll bring our bottom hand to the top, sweep around. Now pull down on those shoulders, squeeze your bum and bring the leg back. Extend, use your abs, twizzle around, lean back into the spin. Big circle in the air. Use this other leg to push you back, set your stargazer, and sit up tall. Take your arms off if you can. Now the same arm as the leg that is hooked is going to come forward. Get your shoulder through, reach, allow yourself to lean across and into your ballerina. Use the little gap, extend, and then we're just turning into, I'm going to hit the floor, to that spin to come down. Definitely your toes and your ankles play quite a big role in this one if we want to keep it graceful from the beginning to the end. When we do our little twizzle there, I like to cross at the ankles. I just think it looks really beautiful. You don't have to, but it is a nice aesthetic thing to do as you twizzle around and pull into this. It just makes it really clean, and it's just a beautiful line. When you draw that circle with your big toe, got to keep those ankles long at that point. That tends to be the time, because we're thinking so hard about setting up that stargazer, we sometimes relax that foot, but it really does break the line. You've got to keep it really extended, sweep, and then place it into your stargazer, again, keeping this one pointed. But at the same time, the other leg also plays quite a big role in that as well. If you're still going to use it like learning your Stargazer sit, then, by all means go ahead and flex that, but try to work up to pushing the ankle and the front of the foot into the pole there. So again, it's all about keeping a beautiful line as opposed to here. This is when we're learning it, but this is for when we want to finesse it. As I always say, finesse and grace come at the end of learning, really not just learning your skill, but feeling confident in it. So get it first, then layer on the grace when you're ready to do that. We are going to float our arms, because keeping floaty arms keeps the whole thing soft and graceful. Even though we are working really hard, especially on some of those spins there, we want to give the illusion that we're not working hard. And the best way to do that is to keep your arms nice and soft and floaty. So once you've set up that Stargazer, we're just going to lift softly. And a really nice way to think about that is to unfold your arms. So if you think about lifting your elbows first, I'm just exaggerating of course, but lift your elbows, then lift your wrists, and then roll through your fingertips. It's almost like a breath, like you're breathing in and breathing out. And that's just going to keep that Stargazer sit really soft and beautiful. So you've set it up, you're squeezing into those grip points, and then these arms float, and it just looks effortless, even though it's really not effortless. Once you are in your ballerina as well, if you just give this arm a little flurry, again, it just keeps that softness in the whole kind of combo. And just one more thing in terms of grace as well, we really want to think about our posture in all of the moves actually. If you just think about lifting through your chest in all the moves, but especially that Stargazer, because rather than just the arms floating, if you use your abs to hold you there and you lift your chest, again, it looks really kind of elegant and graceful. And if you want to keep lifted through your chest the whole time, it'll just elevate the whole combo. Okay, let's do it one more time. This is definitely the time where I would encourage you to put on, a beautiful song to dance to, and we're really going to try to layer in those elements of grace. Let's come into our climb. We'll just keep it soft with the arms. Bring your body around, strong through the shoulders, lift the chest. Extend ankles together, twizzle around, lean back, lift the chest again. Draw a big circle, push back, set it low, hips up, and now we're floating the arms. And get this opposite arm through. In order for your twisty grip, let that leg slide down, little flurry of the arm. Grab the gap, extend, and we're turning into that leg, and that's it.